So share with us a little bit about before you were partnered with Book More Showings.
Yeah.
Where were you in your real estate business and what was happening in your real estate life?
Yeah, absolutely. No, so basically, before joining Bookmore Showings, real estate was going well, but I found that I was missing some sort of piece in my business because when I looked at it, I said, okay, I have clients coming in from my sphere, from referral partners, which was good, but I said, okay, there's high and lows. They would all come at once, and then there would be nothing for a little bit of time. And I said, okay, there's got to be a different way of doing business in this world. And so when I talked to yourself and Will and a couple others at BMS, I found that there was the systems and processes in place and the lead generation that I was missing in my business, which was the key factor for me to take it to the next level. Could I survive off of my network and whatnot? Absolutely, but I needed to take it another level. I wanted to go up. And I found that when I looked at what Book More Showings had to offer and the results that came from it, I said, okay, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So I ought to join and continue growing my business. Is exactly what I did. When I joined BMS, I found that my business did go up to that next level where I was looking to take it.
Wow. If
Yeah.
you could share, like when you partnered with Book More Showings, how were you feeling? Were you nervous, excited, confident? And how did you overcome it if you were feeling a little bit maybe fearful?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a mixture of both. It was exciting for sure. And there was a little bit of nervousness because I said, okay, well, I got to take on more work to see the results that I am looking for. But of course, with the community, with the support, with the mastermind calls, that transition was definitely helpful. And it was actually quite smooth, smoother than expected for sure. And then honestly, after that, it was just anytime I had some sort of question, between yourself and Will and even some of the other community members, it was always quick to get an answer. And yeah, it was awesome for sure.
Awesome, man. So when you did partner, can you share with us a little bit about what happened? What did you see in the community? When you called leads, what happened? What did you learn? When did you start seeing deals happen? Can you walk us through a bit of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first got on with BMS, obviously we went through the whole, I guess, call it training with what is in the community between the training there and the calls we on Mondays and Fridays, and even the middle of the week calls for marketing strategies, etc. So when I got on, I had started doing the prospecting myself, which I was still used to. But then when I went through the training, I found that the way I was prospecting was not the way that we should be prospecting because I got a lot of rejection on my old methods. And then once I implemented the BMS strategies, I found that I was actually getting a lot more results from it. And clients were a lot more receptible to having that conversation about their real estate needs, what they were looking for, whether they were buying or selling. And then from there, actually, it was one of the first clients I had talked to. That was, I would say, my first deal. It took, yeah, I think, a couple of months to maybe 3 months or so until we found the right property for him to purchase, which was awesome because a lot of times, their self-doubt comes in and you say, is this really going to work? And it worked. And then it snowballed after that, next deal and next deal. And the results speak for themselves.
That's powerful. You talked a little bit about the old way of prospecting and the Book More Showings way. Do you mind sharing like what you saw was the biggest difference?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll call it the old prospecting ways. You pick up your phone, you call the lead. It's so and so at this brokerage. I saw you sent in a request for XYZ property, or this is what you're looking for. A lot of clients, they feel, at least I found when I would prospect that way, it was they would just try to rush me off the phone. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Send me what you have. That was a very common theme with send me what you have. And if I like something, I'll call you back. But that was a dead way of doing things. Like I would never hear back from any of those clients. When I joined BMS, there was, of course, how to initiate that call when the lead does click on your ad for a property. From the first phone call to the whole conversation, how it should go. I found that with the way BMS does things is that it's more of an engaging conversation that actually focuses on the customer, on the client, instead of ourselves as real estate agents. Yes, we're out there to make money, but at the same time, we are helping people make the biggest purchase of their lives. So with the way BMS has set things up, it's that it's very client focused. The conversation is on them and their needs, and even some of the strategies like tonality, how to actually speak to the client properly. These are things I didn't know, right? Yes, I have a sales background, but a lot of this training that BMS does provide actually helps with how to get the client engaged and how to capture them as a client, because they're probably talking to other agents because they're out there, they're shopping, agents are calling them. They're probably sick and tired of having these agents call them and say, hey, you're looking for a 3 bedroom house, 2.5 bathrooms. It's the same pitch from a lot of agents. Whereas BMS tailors it to the clientele on their needs, on their specifics, and gets them talking actually a lot more. So there is a fruitful conversation there, and it does lead to transactions.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so with applying that and having the transactions done, where are you in your business now? What's the next steps for you? Where are you headed towards?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've definitely grown my business in terms of where I was from last year. I will exceed the GCI for sure with the help of BMS. Now, where I would like to take it is when this has been day one strategy is, of course, continuing with the lead generation to the point where I have to bring on another agent. And that's the plan for 2025 is potentially bring on 1 or 2 buyer agents. With the way things are going, it will happen. It's just a matter of at what point in 2025 will I be able to start building that team out? That's the next plan for myself in my business, because I would like to, of course, help as many people as possible. But I'm only one man and it's not enough time in the day, unfortunately.
Well, it's a good problem that you're back to back on busy showings right now, as you said earlier. I guess last question, if I may ask, for any other agent out there who's with another lead service provider that may not be working for them, or they've never tried it, but they're scared to invest that
Yeah.
type of investment in a program like this, what would you share to that person from your experience?
I would tell them, so from my experience, BMS is very focused on the success of their agents. Um, so community members who, or even actually non-community members who are out there potentially thinking of, hey, is BMS different? Absolutely. So with BMS, I can confidently say that everything from lead generation to marketing strategies to the community support is something that, if you're using another lead generation, you might not get that. And I can speak to that. I had another lead generation program prior to joining BMS, and it was just leads coming in, and that was all it was. It wasn't how do you prospect properly? What kind of hiccups do you come across? And BMS has a lot of that to offer, which maybe brokerages might not, or lead generation companies might not, because the sole focus is the transaction. BMS, I found that there is a process of doing things. And once you understand that and you continue to, let's just say, show up on the weekly mastermind calls, you will realize that you're not alone in the journey, and what your challenges are have already happened to others. And that's what, honestly, with the community, it makes it so great is that no matter what you think your problem is between yourself and Will, you guys have been there and other community members have been there, and how to overcome those challenges. And even just when you look at the overview of BMS and from lead generation to close transactions, the entire meat and potatoes of everything, it's phenomenal. I found success with it, and I highly recommend it to other individuals out there who might be thinking, hey, does BMS work? It absolutely does.
That's awesome, man.
No, man, like it's like I know Zaire has been finding success with it too. Like he told me the other time, he's bro, I've closed I think 6 or 7 deals from it. I said, bro, good for you. Even Tony's been like, I didn't know Tony hired an ISA. He's like, yeah, I've already closed 2 deals from it. I said, good for you. I said, your ISA is doing the job for you, so that's good. But yeah, man, it's crazy. A lot of people, like I told you, man, a lot of people question it, man. A lot of people question it. And perspective for people is different, right? I just like I told myself when I joined, I said if I can somehow in my first year hit about 100K of GCI from BMS, I'll be happy with that. Which once all these deals close, I'll be close to that. I'll be close to that. So if I get a few more of these leads that I'm working on, if they close this year, yeah, I'm gonna hit that 100K GCI for sure from it. So which is, bro, that's how many. That's some people only make 100K in a year. So that's yeah, it's a bonus for sure. Like I said.